Shanghai. So this was something I didn't think of it as a full story. I just found Scream Scrape report on it pretty interesting. They were basically talking about what's going on about Shanghai and how the park's doing it. And I'll just kind of read what Lance had to say. According to an interesting report posted to Disney and More by a European guest visiting the park over a 3-day period, they noticed some very interesting trends. And these are the things I really want to focus on, are the interesting trends and what makes this a little different. For starters, attendance is not through the roof as expected, which I don't think surprises anyone here, which has the positive side effect of short queues. They also noticed some interesting trends, and the love and passion for the classic Disney attractions is not there at Disney's other theme parks. Pirates and Peter Pan are usually just 5-minute waits, which a 5-minute wait for that new pirate ride would be awesome.
Yeah.
While leaving, which would be unheard of in the U.S., while rides like Soaring and the Roaring Rapids ride have had really long lines. They also noted the Chinese did not seem to care for character meet and greets, and much more unknown characters like Duffy or Baloo were often standing around waiting for someone to come visit them. Another trend that Disney management simply must see to be alarming may be the lack of merchandise and food sales, as they reported noticed extremely lack of both taking place from the park from locals who feel that everything is too expensive. However, the bigger problem seems to be coming from the Chinese culture, a barrier, or rather behavior problems, since they have been rearing their ugly head in various ways. Trash is just thrown everywhere. Nobody seems to want to use a trash can. Urine everywhere. People are just peeing in bushes and stuff like that rather than using bathrooms. And an odd acts of attempted capitalism by some guests were caught trying to sell fake passes to other guests, or guests trying to sell their own ponchos to other guests. Guest reactions to attraction breaking down during the day has seen the park have to bring in state police in the park to help prevent any riots from taking place.
This park kind of sounds like a shithole.
Yeah.
Like a really nice park, but just a shithole culture.
Yeah, no, it seems a lot like Disneyland Paris in the sense that the Europeans don't quite get it. It's not the same like Disney style hospitality you have down here in the Florida parks. It's really pretty, but then you have people smoking in lines and stuff like that because it's just part of European culture.
Mm-hmm. I would say from a Disney stockholder share point, the reports about attendance and merchandise sales and food sales would be very alarming.
Uh-huh.
Because I mean, you could be looking at a $6 billion flop.
Yep. Trash everywhere. That just you can hire more sweepers.
Yeah. And I mean, if it's acceptable for people to pee everywhere, then the guests aren't really going to have a problem with that because it's what they know.
Uh-huh.
I do find it kind of interesting about what rides hit and which rides have not hit.
Uh-huh.
But I think that goes back to like some of the non-IP rides being a big deal because people know though they might not know what Pirates of the Caribbean is or what Peter Pan is, but you say hang gliding simulator or river raft ride, people know what that is.
Yes. I think it's also really neat that they have a RCI ropes course at this park.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that in the pirate section?
It's that like adventure discovery trails kind of thing.
Ah, okay.
That goes around like that cliffs and stuff. That's an RCI course. I had no idea, and it totally elevated my excitement for this park.
Yes, for your next trip to Shanghai.
Yeah, 2019.
That's you could go on an RCI ropes course and then pee in a bush.
Or you know what? I can just pee while I'm going on the ropes course over the bushes.
That's true. Hopefully, there's a good peeing bush over there.
Yeah. So I just think it's interesting the differences between the two resorts, or I mean all the different resorts, and how the Chinese culture does not seem to get it.
No, they are definitely not the Disney type. It'll definitely be interesting to see how this one plays out, and if people adapt and get used to it. Because I know when the Paris resort opens, it seemed like a big time flop, and now it draws well over 10 million guests a year. So it'll be interesting to see if the Shanghai one ends up being the same way, or if it kind of just muddles along like Hong Kong.
Wouldn't it be interesting if you ever see one that flops dramatically and Disney ends up just selling the park. Something sort of like how like Six Flags has sold parks and stuff like that, and it's like a former Disney park that's now not.
I don't think they'll do that. I think they would just scorch earth it and move the rides.
Mm-hmm.
Use it for parts.
Yeah.